Hello, so this video is just a guide on how to formulate a ration. So by the way, a ration is parang a combination of feeds, more than one. So pwedeng dalawang klase ng feed given to our ruminants. For example, we provide them a roughage and we also provide them concentrates. So yung combination na yun, ang tawag natin doon ay ration. Ngayon, it is also important for us to know ilang percent or gaano karami yung concentrate na ibibigay natin at gaano karami yung roughage na ibibigay natin. So, tutulungan tayo ng ration formulation para ma-determine yon. So, in this case, we have an example. A ration for a 250 kg steer gaining 0.75 kg per day, which maximize the use of roughage. So, meron tayong parang 4 na parameters dito. First is 250 kilograms. So, ito yung bigat nung baka, nung cattle. Then, steer, ito yung kanyang parang production age. And then, 0.75 kilogram, gain niya, yung parang gain niya. And then, ang kanyang parang ration formulation is, it uses or it maximizes the use of roughage. Pwede kasing, mas bulk talaga is the roughage. So, ito yung gagamitin nating calculation. And the second idea or method of calculation is we set a fixed number of ratio between the concentrates and the roughage. But in our case, ano yung pinakamaraming roughage na pwede nating maibigay? So this is the example for this kind of type of question. So para maintindihan natin yan, next slide. Dapat meron tayong mga values na paggagalingan ng ating mga paano natin siya i-compute. First is to identify the nutrient requirements of the animal. So in this case, it is a 250 kg steer gaining 0.75 kg per day. So hanapin lang natin siya 250. So dun sa reference na attached dun sa activity na to, 250, ayan, 250, and then yung gain weight niya is 0.75, so ito. So, ang hinahanap natin is ilan ang kanyang dry matter intake. So, the dry matter intake of 250 kg steer is 6.4. Ayan yung dry matter, yung requirement niya. And then, ang kanyang TDN or the total digestible nutrients in kilogram is 3.8. So, tama, 3.8 dito. And then, yung CP niya or yung crude protein is, saan na yun? 693 grams. So, tama, 693 grams. We also have here the calculation for the calcium and phosphorus, but they are not actually important in the ration formulation. So, what we need is the value for the dry matter, the total digestible nutrient, and the crude protein. So, sa kanila iikot yung computation natin dito. So, in this case, so we already know the actual amount. So, ito yung mga actual amount natin. Ngayon, we also need to know the percent of dry matter. So, paano natin, para mas maintindihan nyo siya, ilang percent ng dry matter na to, itong 3.8 na to. So, ang gagawin mo lang dyan is 6.4 divided by, 3.8, divided by 6.4. So, the answer is 59.4%. So, times 100 yun. In the case of this crude protein, so, ang ginawa lang dyan ay 693 grams or 0.693 divided by 6.4. So that is 10 times 100, that is 10.8%. So we now know ilan yung percent ng total digestible nutrient at ilan yung percent ng crude protein in terms of their dry matter composition. So aside from that, we already know the nutrient requirement. Now we need to know also the nutrient composition of the feeds available. Paano natin yun malalaman? So I have attached here also the nutrient composition of regular roughages and then common concentrate feedstuff. So these are actually available in every nutrition book. So these values are not absolute. They are a product of research. So alam nila kung ilan ang dry matter, total digestible nutrient, and the crude protein, and etc. So in our case, in the example made available, they use Napier as their main roughage. So here is the feed composition of, or the nutrient composition of a Napier. And take note, the number varies depending on the age where the Napier has been harvested. For example, 21 days, 42 days, 56 days. So, strict kasi din mismo minsan sa pagha-harvest ng Napier because the older the Napier gets, mas bumababa yung kanyang tumataas yung kanyang dry matter, but medyo nahihirapan naman itong i-absorb ng animal because kumakapal yung kanyang parang bark, yung parang hindi na madadigest kahit yung mga bacterial enzyme cannot digest that particular structure. So in this case, they use Napier. So yung average yata niya ito, it has a dry matter of 22%, 55 yung kanyang TDN based on dry matter basis, and then total protein 9.5 and 0.42. So in the example here, ito yon, Napier. And then meron daw available na rice bran, D1, tsaka brewer's spent grain, as in the case of concentrate. So, asa naman yon? So, ito yung brewer's spent grain. If you can recall, these are actually the byproduct of beer production. So, yung mga sapal nung mga ginagamit sa paggawa ng beer, pinapakain yon yung grain dun sa ating ruminant. So, ito yung kaniyang nutrient composition. And yung kanina naman is yung rice bran D1. Ito yung kanyang nutrient composition. So, sinulat lang siya dito. So, again, in order for you to calculate those things, you need to identify the nutrient requirement of the animal as well as the nutrient composition of the feed available. So, ito yung kanya Ngayon, since we are using this method of maximizing the use of roughage, let us first identify kung yung roughage na bibigay mo sa hayop ay can satisfy the total digestible nutrient requirement. If kaya na ba niyang punuan yon. So, in this case, ito yung dry matter nung tawag dito, requirement nung hayop. So, 6.4 kilogram dry matter. And then, the percent TDN based on dry matter basis ng Napier is 55%. So, ito, 55. So, 55. So, ang ginawa lang dyan, 6.4 times 0.55 kaya times 55 divided by 100. So, ang sagot is 3.52 kilograms TDN. Now, ang second question dyan ay, is it enough to satisfy the TDN requirement of the animal? Saan natin siya makikita? In this case, ito yung amount na dapat na TDN ng hayop. But in the case of Napier, ang kaya lang niyang ibigay ay 3.52. Meaning, kulang. So, hindi sapat yung nutrient, yung TDN ng Napier dun sa daily requirement ng ating steer. So, ang gagawin dyan ng mga farmer, including mga nutritionists, is they will add concentrate to replace part of the Napier grass para kahit ito yung mga kinakain niya, napupunan niya pa din yung total TDN which should amount to 3.8 kilograms. And dyan papasok yung tinatawag nating Pearson square. So, paano itong Pearson square? So, kaya siya tinawag na Pearson square because of this box. Ayan, so box. So, ang percent dry matter na requirement ng animal is 59.4. So, isusulat mo lang dyan yung 59.4. Ito yung requirement niya. Okay, ito yung requirement ng hayop. Ngayon, we all know that the Napier can provide but the dry matter percent of the TDN of Napier grass is 55%. Ngayon, si rice bran ay, ilan ba yung rice bran? 80. Okay, 80 yung kay rice bran dito. So, this is important. Dapat tama yung mga sinulat nyo dito sa mga to kasi they will be used for the calculation later. So, paano gamitin itong Pearson square? So, first, we would subtract the TDN diagonally. So, kunwari, 59.4 minus 55, ang sagot mo ay ito, 4.4. Ito naman, 80% minus 59.4, 20.6. Irregardless ito kung maging negative ba yung sagot or maging positive. Laging dapat positive, hindi dapat minus ang sagot dito. Parang lagi mong uunahin kung sino yung mas malaki. O dapat 80 minus 59.4. Tapos dito naman, 59.4 minus 55. So, irregardless, dapat positive yung sagot kasi we are just computing the parts. So, in this case, 20.6 parts tas 4.4 parts yung ating na-compute. Kasi inaalam natin dito sa Pearson, ilang part ng total ration dapat ay Napier at ilang part ng total ration ay rice bran na masasatisfy itong 59.4 na total digestible nutrient. So in this case, meron na tayong calculation dito. Ang gagawin lang natin ay ito total natin to. So 20.6 plus 4.4 equals 25.0 total parts. Ngayon, ano yung susunod nating gagawin para dyan? So again, alam natin itong mga parts na to. Ang susunod lang na gagawin ay i-divide lang natin itong 20.6 divided by 25 tapos 4.4 divided by 25 para malaman natin kung ilang percent, okay? So, ang ilang percent ng Napier at ilang percent ng rice bran because these are termed as parts. Ang kailangan natin ay percent. So, sana yun? Ito, i-divide natin siya. So, the TDN requirement is expressed in percent. So, for example, Napier is 82% kasi 20.6, if we can see, 20.6 divided by 25, ang sagot doon ay 82% kasi i-convert natin siya into percent. While yung rice bran naman is 18% kasi 4.4, ito, divided by 25, the answer is 18%. Ngayon, naka-percent na sila, kailangan naman nating malaman kung ilan yung total amount na kailangan natin para mapuno yung dry matter requirement ng hayop. So, kanina ang dry matter requirement ng hayop ay 6.4. So, ang gagawin lang natin dyan ay, tawag dito, 6.4 times 0.82, so 5.25. Meaning, 5.25 kilos ng Napier ang kailangan mong isupply para ma-meet yung 6.4 na requirement na dry matter ng hayop. In addition, dun sa ating concentrates naman, 6.4 times 0.18 kasi 18% siya eh. So, ang sagot ay 1.15 kilograms para makompleto yung 6.4 na requirement. So, para ma-sure natin siya, tingnan natin tong table na to. So, ito yung kailangan na Napier grass, ito yung kailangan na rice bran, para ang total niya ay 6.4, okay? Tapos, ang requirement, as we can recall, is 6.4 din. So, ang balance niya ay 0. Means, ibig sabihin, pantay na pantay yung dry matter na kailangan tsaka sa dry matter na pinoprovide ng feed. Para naman makompute itong total digestible nutrient, ang gagawin lang natin ay tignan ulit natin yung percent, okay, ng TDN. So, in this case, ang percent ng TDN natin sa Napier ay 55. Okay, so 55% yung kanyang dry matter. I-multiply lang natin siya sa 0.55 times 5.25. So, ang sagot dyan ay 2.89. Kaya una nating hinanap yung dry matter para makompute natin yung TDN, CP ng mga feedstuff. Ganon din ang gagawin natin dito sa rice bran. So, alamin natin ilang percent ang dry matter ng rice bran kanina. So, 50% ang kanyang percent dry matter basis. So, 80%, sorry. 0.80 times 1.15 kilogram. So, ang sagot ay 0.92 kilogram. So, meaning, ito yung amount ng rice bran na idadagdag mo doon sa feed para makompleto yung kanyang total digestible nutrient. So again, ito yung total nito, 2.89 plus 0.92 is 3.81. Ang requirement lang ay 3.80. So may surplus ka lang na 0.01. So kapag ang ration na nakukompute mo ay na-meet niya or as is siya or sobra siya, okay lang yon. We can consider that as balanced ration. However, if kulang, kagaya nito, negative siya, kailangan mong magdagdag pa ng isa pang concentrate. Ngayon, i-check natin yung CP. Ganon din yung ginamit natin, kinumpute natin yung, kunwari, ang Napier grass ay, ayan, 9.50 yung kanyang percent dry matter times 5.25, ang sagot ay 499 grams. Ganon din sa rice bran, ganon. Ngayon, itinotal lang natin siya 675. Pero ang requirement natin ay 693. So, meaning may kulang tayong 18 grams. So, Kaya magdadagdag pa tayo ng isang klase ng concentrate. At yun ay titignan natin sa susunod na video.